Hello po sa inyo lahat. Kamusta po kayo? Welcome po ulit sa ating channel, ang showpaul.ph. Kung kayo po ay mapadpad sa channel na ito, huwag niyo po kalimutan mag-subscribe, i-click po ang notification bell, i-like at i-share po itong ating mga video. Ngayon po ay ika-21 ng Hunyo, taon 2024, 21st of June 2024. Ang topic po natin ngayon ay yung sa South China Sea. Ano na po ba ang lagay dyan? Sa kabila ng palala ng palala at meron ng mga Pilipino na naputulan ng daliri. May video pa tayo dyan nakaraan. At sa kabila po niyan ay hindi pa rin po nakikipag-usap ang ating gobyerno. At ano po ba sa palagay nyo ang kahinat nandyan? At ito pang isang topic natin ngayon. Ito medyo mamibigla kayo. Gaano po ba katotoo ang pagtatayo ng Pilipinas ng Brahmos missile base dyan po sa may South China Sea? So meron na po palang Brahmos missile yan. At yung pong pag-aalala ng Amerika sa pagbili ng mga Chinese ng lupa sa tabi po ng 19 na US military. So gaano pa rin po ba katotoo yan? Yan lang po ang ating topic ngayon sa kabila po ng mainit na issue ni BP Sara sa kanyang pagre-resign. At dito po muna tayo tumuon sa problema natin sa South China Sea. Dahil ito po ang pinakaseryosong problema natin Pilipinas o ng ating mga Pilipino. Sino ba may gusto ng gera? Sa tingin nyo ba magpapatalo ang China? At talaga po bang hindi na po magsasalita ang ating Pangulo dyan sa problema na yan? Napakahirap po yung sitwasyon natin dyan. Sa tingin niyo po ba magbibigay po ng way ang China sa ganyang sitwasyon? Sa palagay ko po hindi. Ako hindi. Kasi talagang pinanindigan nila yung 9-dash line nila. Talagang gusto nila sakupin yung buong South China Sea na yun. Yung pong West Philippine Sea. So ito po ang ating hiling sa ating Pangulo. Na sana po ay makipag-dialogo na siya. Wala pong ibang solve ng ating problema dyan kundi po ang ating Pangulo. Wala pong pakialam ang China sa mga ibang bansa, Japan or Canada or Australia o at lalong-lalo na sa Amerika. Hindi po sila makikinig dyan. Ang kailangan po natin ay dialogo sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at China at para po maiwasan yung ganyang tensyon. Palala na po, nagkakasakitan na at talagang hindi natin kaya ang China dahil malakas. Hindi naman pwedeng pumalag ang mga Philippine Coast Guard natin dahil napakadami ng barko ng China. Ang lalaki. Paano ka lalaban doon? Eh di makasaktan ka lang at baka mapunta pa sa gera nga pag ganyan. Hindi natin alam. At bakit yung mga opisyal natin sa gobyerno yan sila Abalos o sila Marbil na yan at hindi natin alam kung anong gusto ng mga yan. Yung sa Philippine Coast Guard, si Tariela, hindi natin alam kung anong inuutos sa kanya ng mga nandiyan sa gobyerno, yung mga matataas dyan. Palala ng palala po at nakakatakot po yan. At nakikita naman natin ang nangyayari dyan sa Ukraine. Napakadami na pong namamatay, lalong-lalo na yung mga bata. Naisip pa ba natin mapunta tayo sa ganyang sitwasyon at magkagera at siguradong hindi tayo sasantuhin ng mga China na yan at napakalakas po ng puwersa nila. Kahit na ang US po takot o alanganin silang nung makipaglaban sa China, tayo pa kaya? So yan po, napaka-importante po ng inyong opinion dito sa problema nito sa South China Sea. Hindi lang po yan, pati pong ating mga isda apektado, hindi makapangisda. Anong ipapakain nila sa kanilang mga pamilya? Ayuda. Magkano po yung ayuda? Hanggang kailan po yung itatagal ng ayuda pag binigyan natin sila? Hindi po kagaya ng nakakapag-isda sila dyan sa Scarborough. Araw-araw o marami silang mahuli dyan pag uwi sa mga pamilya at merong may bibigay at mapapag-aral ang mga anak. At pag tayo po nagkagera, ano na mangyayari? At sana po yan ay pagtuunan na ng pansin ng ating gobyerno. At para po maliwanagan kung ano po ang dapat dyan Sa ating pong saligang batas labag po yan. Nung tayo po ang mag-uudyok ng gera, labag po yan wala sa ating saligang batas. Yan po ay nakasad doon. Hindi po pabor ang mga Pilipino dyan sa ating pong Philippines Constitution. Yan po ay mariin na tinututulan ng ating saligang batas. So, yan po lang po ang ating pag-usapan sa araw na ito. At bukas tignan natin kung anong ma-update natin dyan sa pag-resign ni BP Sara. At napakarami na pong mga vlogger na yan po ang topic. So, dito muna tayo sa ating pinakamatinding issues dyan sa South China Sea o sa West Philippine Sea. So, pero bago po yan, update po muna tayo sa ating currency exchange. Ayan po, ang 1 US dollar po ay 58.864. Kuwaiti dinar, 191.87. Saudi Arabian Rial, 15.697. Canadian dollar, 42.935. Japanese yen, 0.3691. British pound, 74.378. Euro, 62.924. Emirates dirhams, 16.028. At yung pong ating Hong Kong dollar ay 7.541. So, yan po yung ating latest currency exchange. So, punta na po tayo sa ating topic. Gaano po ba katotoo yung pagtatayo ng Pilipinas ng Brahmos missile base dyan po sa South China Sea. So, panoorin po natin.
The Philippines is taking steps to make sure China doesn't dominate the South China Sea by building the first Brahmos anti-ship missile base aimed at the South China Sea. Satellite imagery from Maxar Technologies appears to show the makings of the base. There's a high bay for maintenance and repair right here, as well as a separate shelter for missile storage. Now, some military and maritime experts analyzed these images, and they say that this base in the Philippines looks an awful lot like this Brahmos base, which is in India. Now, the experts and analysts say it makes sense why these two sites look so similar, because the Brahmos missile is actually manufactured in India. Developed with Russia's help, the Brahmos is a
So, yan po palang Brahmos na yan po pala ay galing po ng India. Yan po pala dinedevelop yung Brahmos na yan. Kaya po medyo may kaparehas yung
long-range supersonic cruise missile. It can be launched by land, sea, or air, making it extremely versatile. The Brahmos can reach speeds of about Mach 3, or 3 times the speed of sound, and has a reported range of about 290 kilometers, which is just a tick over 180 miles. India says the missile operates on a fire and forget principle, meaning the Brahmos can guide itself to its target once fired. The Brahmos can carry conventional warheads weighing over 600 pounds, and when combined with the kinetic energy of supersonic flight, the Brahmos is bound to bring a bad day to any ship it meets. According to Naval News, construction for the new missile site is at Philippine Naval Station Leovahido Gantioque, which is on the western coast of Luzon, and that is right about here. That means the entire Scarborough Shoal, one of the most disputed areas in the entire region, is within range of that first Brahmos missile battery. The Philippine Marine Corps bought 3 batteries of Brahmos missiles, though, worth about $375 million. The working theory right now among some leading maritime experts is the Philippines Marine Corps could establish 2 more anti-ship missile bases at Camp Cape Boheador, which is on the northern end of the island, as well as Lubang Island, which kind of oversees Manila Bay and the capital city of the Philippines, Manila. The missile base on the north end of the island would also provide protection for the Luzon Strait, north of the Philippines, between the Philippines and Taiwan. It's more than likely the Philippines will have more than just 3 Brahmos batteries when all is said and done, though. The Philippines Army also tagged the missile system as a target for procurement in the coming years, along with the US-made HIMARS. Other countries in the region, like Vietnam and Indonesia, are interested in procuring their own batteries of Brahmos missiles as well, because no one wants to cede control of the South China Sea to China. For more reporting about China, the Philippines, and the conflicts in the South China Sea, be sure.
So yan po yung ating topic na pagtatayo ng Pilipinas ng Brahmos missile. Yan po yata yung EDCA, yung nakipag-ugnay tayo sa US military. Kung kayo po may mga alam na eksperto na tinalakay yan, mag-komento po kayo sa baba. Ibigay niyo po sa atin yung link para po natin pag-usapan. At talaga po napaka halaga ng issue na yan. Or dapat natin pagtuunan ng pansin. Ang hiling lang po natin sa ating Pangulo na sana po ay pakinggan niya ang mas nakakarami na maiwasan po yung ganyang problema sa gera. Dahil po yan pong gera hindi po yan nakalagay sa ating konstitusyon. Mariin pong na sinasabing hindi tayo pwedeng magsimula ng gera. Yan po yung nakasaad sa ating Philippines Constitution. Ganun pa man, itong ating Pangulo ay tahimik. Sana po, paano na Pangulo, pakinggan niyo po yung mga taong nagluk sa inyo dyan sa kapangyarihan sa Malacanang. Yung pong mas nakakarami. Ang mga Pilipino pong bumoto sa inyo. Huwag po yung ilang tao lang na nakapaligid sa inyo. At yung pong ibang bansa na kung ano man ang sinasabi. Sana po ay mapakinggan niyo po ang hiling ng ating mga nakakarami na iwasan po natin ang gera. Saka na po tayo tumuon dyan sa pakikipag-away na yan. Pag talagang kayang-kaya na natin, ay sa tingin naman natin hindi natin kaya. Dahil po nung nakaraan lang, ayan po, may mga naputulan ng daliri. At talagang hindi po tayo pwedeng makipagsabay sa kanila dahil napakarami po ng Chinese dyan at ang lalaki ng kanilang mga Coast Guard vessel, yung kanilang PCG. Hindi natin kakayanin, mahal na Pangulo. Importante po, ang kailangan pong gawin ay makipag-dialogue po, mahal na Pangulo. Sana po mapakinggan nyo ang hiling ng mas nakakaraming Pilipino. Kawawa po ang mga bata. Maawa po kayo sa mga Pilipino. Yung pong mga mayayaman, pag sumiklab po yung gera, madali po sila makalabas ng bansa. Paano po yung mga mahihirap? Natural, pag nandyan na po yung gera, lalaban na yan. Wala na po tayong magagawa. Ang problema, yung mga mamatay, yung mga madamay ng mga bata, mga matatanda. Kawawa po. Sana po makapag-isip-isip ang ating Pangulo sa problema natin yan. Pati na rin po yung mga mangingisda, nagkakaproblema na po dyan. Hindi na sila mga pangisda. Anong mapapakain sa pamilya? Puro ayuda. Hanggang kailan po yung ayuda? Mahal na Pangulo, kami po ay nananawagan sa inyo. Dialogo po ang kailangan natin sa China. Sana mapakinggan tayo ng ating Pangulo. So, punta naman tayo sa pag-alala ng US dahil may mga Chinese po na bumibili po ng kanilang properties dyan po sa tabi ng Siyam na US military. So, tingnan pa natin yung pahayag na yan o ang balita na yan.
Infiltrating America's military installations. Today, the New York Post is identifying 19 U.S. military bases across the country where Chinese entities have acquired farmland nearby. They include some of America's most strategically important military bases. The New York Post writes this: under the guise of farming, Chinese landowners could set up reconnaissance sites, install tracking technology, use radar and infrared scanning to view bases or attempt to fly drones over them as ways to surveil military sites. Joining me now is Hudson Institute Senior Fellow, Atlas Organization founder, and the author of The Decisive Decade, Jonathan D.T. Ward with me once again. Jonathan, how concerning is this that the CCP continues to try to infiltrate our military installations? Remember the surveillance balloon that flew over the country was hovering around military installations, and now they're buying up farmland right near those military sites.
Right, that and positioning cyber weapons inside our critical infrastructure, as the FBI and others have reported. So I think it's pretty clear, first of all, Maria, that in the event of conflict with China, they would be able to strike the U.S. homeland. I think they would intend to disrupt.
So yan po yung sabi, bumibili ng mga farmland ang mga Chinese dyan sa 19 na US military base. Yan po, yung may mga drones daw na papalipad yung mga ewan natin kung ano yung tingin ng US dyan.
And cause havoc here. I think there have been enough people on record sort of indicating that at this point. And as to the purchases of farmland, the New York Post report sort of alleges here that 2 of the major purchasers are actually members of the Communist Party of China. So I think obviously the easiest thing is to force a divestiture of assets in the U.S. by Communist Party members or affiliates, and they shouldn't earn any money on it. I mean, 10 cents on the dollar, just, get them out of here. There's no reason for our primary adversary to be doing this, and the positioning
but we're not doing that. Jonathan, we're not doing.
Maria, we're not doing
we're
anything.
Not
I mean, that's welcome to where we are. Welcome to where we are. That's what I know. I mean, I've been trying to tell people for many years now about why we should do things. So, if we want to do things, this is one that seems relatively straightforward.
So I'm trying to understand the consequences of what's happening realistically, because we're not doing that. We're not forcing the divestiture of this. Some states have done that. Some states have said, no, you will not be able to buy farmland. But on a federal level, we have not seen this administration do anything. So what are the consequences of this? You're saying that in the likelihood or the possibility of a conflict between the U.S. and China, the CCP would try to attack our military sites because they're so close to it?
No, I'm saying that, one, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this has to do with surveillance, the ability to surveil and monitor bases. I mean, that's something that they obviously can do. I mean, there are other things that they can do, too, that maybe I won't get into here. But I think also, I mean, one can see if you add up the rest of what's going on here, you take the sort of cyber initiatives, the pre-placement of cyber weapons, those sorts of things, and the actual Chinese Communist Party doctrine for war with the United States. I mean, they would intend to disrupt the homeland. That's not necessarily linked to farmland, but perhaps this broader program of what they're doing here. I mean, it's not just the Pacific. It's not just the first island chain. That's not how this would go.
It's unbelievable. Jonathan, you've been so great on this, and you've brought this subject to our audience so long ago. I want to commend you for that. We're now learning that the U.S. and China reportedly held informal nuclear arms talks. This happened apparently back in March for the first time in 5 years, with Beijing officials claiming that they would not resort to nuclear threats over Taiwan. The U.S. and China also holding high-level talks yesterday, apparently on anti-narcotics cooperation. This coming as the House Select Committee on China is announcing the formation of a fentanyl policy working group. Jonathan, I've got to tell you, I'm so sick of these policy working groups. Of course, we need the Select Committee on China to focus on fentanyl and how it's poisoning American citizens. But now they say they're working on a policy working group. Fine. We just want it to stop.
Well, look, I think the Select Committee, one, the report they did on fentanyl, I would say is the most important thing they did. I mean, that was...
So kung ano-ano na po yung naisip ng US dyan sa China, talagang grabe na po yung kanilang worry dyan. Pati po yung mga, sabi niya, fentanyl na po yan. Fentanyl policy ng China dyan sa Amerika. Ano po bang, sa tingin nyo? Naghahanda na po ba yung China dyan? Pinaghahanda na po ba yung China yung US na baka sakaling magkaroon ng gera? Nakakatakot po yan. Sana po ay wag naman. At talaga po tayo ay damay sa Pilipinas dahil po yun nakita natin na mga missile na Brahmos missile yan po sa EDCA site ng sa atin sa may South China Sea, at baka tayo po talaga ay isa sa mga madamay dyan.
have provided evidence to the American people of China's direct role in the subsidization and manufacturing of fentanyl, and that includes party grants and sort of tax breaks to the companies that are doing this. So we, I think at this point, really understand that the CCP is doing this. I mean, this is one of the most hostile acts that's ever been carried out against the United States, and they're going to need to come up with options now. I mean, this is now about options and executing options. I mean, we have to get this to stop. How you do that, I think people are looking at sanctions, that sort of thing. But yes, I mean, we're talking about every year now over 100,000 deaths, and as Attorney General Bill Barr pointed out, this is not just a drug crisis. I mean, this is lethal. These are lethal doses, lethal poison. It's really the poisoning of America, and if the largest killer of Americans under 30, under 40, of any kind. So yes, I mean, if we really look at what China's doing to this country, I mean, it's become extreme. I mean, this is the sort of thing the Soviets never did anything like this. I mean, nobody's ever done anything like this. And I think all options need to be on the table. And, and really Congress will have to draw up these options. What can we do? What can we actually do to take action on this?
Okay, so Congress needs to draw up these actions, and we need to start taking this seriously. It's just unbelievable that you just said that this has become extreme, and it feels extreme. But you're right, we've never seen anything like this. And we have now a new Fox Nation special, my new special. It's called Underwriting the Enemy. And I put a spotlight on what could be the greatest financial scandal in history: American investors unwittingly funding the Chinese Communist Party with their retirement dollars. We've talked about this before. In the third episode, we also discussed deterring conflict with China. Watch this.
The strategic interest is massive in deterring a conflict. I'm still confident that we can deter a conflict.
This is a party that needs the United States more than at any other time in its history. So we have it within our power to protect ourselves, to protect our country and protect our freedoms. That's what the American people must demand.
What about those 60 to 100 million Americans whose money it is? Why can't they go to their elected representatives? Why can't they go to their fund managers, their stockbrokers, their financial advisors, and say those famous words from the movie Network, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore"?
Jonathan, that was Roger Robinson, as you know, referring to all the companies that are Chinese companies tied to the Chinese Communist Party and the military of China that trade on our exchanges.
Well, right. I mean, we're in a pretty insane situation, honestly, Maria. I mean, at this point, the writing is on the wall. I mean, and the people that are doing the investing in China, I mean, they're going to lose the money. I mean, that's something that, just on a purely financial business level here, I mean, this is going to turn out to be one of the worst investments for, anyone that's participated in this. I mean, you look at the video this week from the Chinese attacks on the Filipino naval vessels and, using clubs and knives and all sorts of things. I mean, why would you invest in this? It's just insane. So to say nothing of the national security risks, I mean, the fact that companies are still there, that we still have major business ties, I mean, I think that's going to have economic consequences to businesses that are going to be the kind of thing that should have been obvious a long time ago.
It sure was, and it was obvious to you, that's for sure.
I mean, it's, well, yeah, and it's been sad to watch how poorly we've handled all of this and how blind we've been. But, eventually reality comes.
Jonathan, thanks very much. And again, thank you so much.
So, yan po yung pahayag ng Fox Business News. Yan pong sa kabila ng pagbili ng mga Chinese ng lupa dyan sa tabi ng 19 na US military, at nag-aalala rin sila na baka doon po sa mga gamot na galing China at baka yata sila daw ay nilalaso na. Ayan po yung kanilang mapahayag dyan. Nag-aalala yung nag-aalala yung mga Amerikano or mga Americans. Meron din pong akusasyon noong nakaraan na ang akusasyon naman po ng Amerika doon sa nagbulgar po ng yung Reuters na yun pong Sinovac ng China naman, nung panahon ng pandemic, ay ginawa po ng issue ng Amerika. Yan po yung meron po mga balita dyan. Pakadami po ng balita dyan sa ano na yan, yung gawa po ng Sinovac na ginawang issue ng Amerika. Yan po muna ang ating mga topic ngayon. So ano po ba yung inyong masasabi dyan sa issue na yan? At ano po ba, naghahanda na po ba ang China sa ganyang problema na alam nila na parang pinaghahandaan nila ang US? Sana naman po hindi mangyari yan. Digmaan, wala pong mananalo dyan. At nakita naman natin yung pinagdaanan ng Ukraine. At dyan po sa Middle East, yung pong Israel at saka yung pong mga Palestinian. Kasama na rin po mga Iranian. Ngayon po ay pati Lebanon na. Talagang all-out war na si Netanyahu. Yan po sa problema dyan sa Israel. Muli po, kung kayo po ay mapadpa sa channel na ito, huwag niyo po kalimutan mag-subscribe, i-click po ang notification bell, like, share po ang ating mga video. Magkita-kita po tayo bukas at tingnan natin kung ano ma-update natin sa inyo. Lagi po kayo mag-iingat. Maraming pong salamat. Paalam. Adios.